Hi, everybody. This is Dana, CoachDanaInspires.com, and I'm super excited to be here. And I'm with my colleague and good friend, Marty Dickinson, and he is the owner, proprietor, king of Here Next Year LLC. And I'm super happy that you're here, Marty. And we have been friends for quite some time, haven't we?
Long time, yeah.
Yes. Many, many years we've known each other in through Toastmasters, I think is how we first met.
Yeah.
And so this is Business Inspiration, and I am Dana Morgan Barnes. I am Coach Dana Inspires, and I am with Marty Dickinson, as we said. So every Tuesday we're going to be coming to you at 11:15. I apologize for being a few minutes late. 11:15 Eastern Time, 9:15 Mountain Time. We're going to do this weekly, and we're going to be talking with business movers and shakers, owners, coaches, to help you and yours get by through this crazy, wacky time. So thank you, Marty, for jumping in, being my first victim, my first guest on my interview day. Thank you very much. So can I just jump in and ask you a quick question there, Marty?
Absolutely.
So how are you? How's the business during this crazy time?
Well, personally, the health clubs aren't open yet, so I can't go work out, but I do walk every single day, so we're staying healthy. I found a nice school with really deep stairwells, so you have to really step up high, and that increases your heart rate. And that was inspired by your original book, by the way. So
My
which you
original book
probably have handy right there.
might it
Yes,
be this
indeed.
original book? Yes.
Right. So sometimes that walk even turns into twice a day just to get the blood flowing. So that
Good
really
man.
helps personally, and business wise, we're having a great summer. We actually just took on one of our largest clients, certainly most known client, a few weeks ago, and we're working on a nonfiction book for him, probably going to launch that in August. So
Wow.
that's really exciting, and we're talking about a joint venture with another company. So who knows, we could be hiring 10 to 15 people in the next couple of months.
Wow,
Little cart before the horse
wouldn't that be
there, but I
great?
don't know, it's very interesting.
I mean, it sounds exciting and also a little like eek at the same time.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, and you and I were talking a little earlier about, some folk, I will not name names, of course, but some folk put off doing things because they're afraid. They're afraid people will judge them. They're afraid they'll make a mistake. And it's the whole, why are we afraid to do public speaking? Because people are going to judge us, people ridicule us, we'll make a fool of ourselves. And I think, um, how can we just like kind of like leap out of that and just say, Psh, too bad?
Well, first thing, one of the first things that I was taught in Toastmasters is that fear is a good thing. And that
Okay.
was, goodness, 20 years ago when I first joined a Toastmasters club. So that has carried me a long way. Whenever I get afraid of doing something, I think, well, that's your body telling you that you need to really be alert, and you'll do your best job when when you have a little fear. In fact,
Super.
the minute that I'm not nervous about coming on a virtual live event like this or speaking on stage somewhere, that's the day that I just hang it up and I stop doing it, because I know I will not do the best job for my audience. So fear
Yeah.
is a good thing. Embrace it. Don't run away from it unless it
Yeah.
unless it tells you to run.
Unless there's a
Fear is
great
good in
big,
that way too.
yes, if there's a gorilla chasing you, then you have to
Exactly.
run. But otherwise, okay, so all of those folks out there, names I will not name, we need to just jump in and do it. So let's get to that. Absolutely. Yay. Thank you, Marty. That's great insight. Um, so you guys are doing quite well during this COVID-19. It hasn't really affected your business. Has it affected any part of your business as far as,
Oh, I I think that is completely opposite of what's really happened. COVID-19 has completely changed our business. The only difference what I'm seeing with a lot of people is that they're waiting so long to acknowledge or really figure out how they need to change. but I figured it out right away because we were on the verge of doing national events on stage. And all of a sudden, well, all the stages closed up. So it really didn't take very long for us to figure out you can't do that because we couldn't. There was no stage that we could go to in person and have an
Right.
event. So everything very much changed in a heartbeat. But how we responded to it, I mean, I've gone through peaks and troughs just like everybody else, and you have that depth of despair, what the heck is going to happen with the world? But I just think that everybody eventually gets to that point where you say, well, am I going to stay like this forever, or am I going to move forward in the best way that I know how? And that's what I've been doing ever since, is just trying to be that positive, go in that positive direction and hang around positive people, because hang around the wrong people and you can certainly be brought down. So you really kind of pick and choose where you spend your time, and then your time is more well spent toward the direction, the positive direction that you want to go.
Yeah. So speaking of that, it just sounds like as a business owner, and you've been in business a long time. How long? And
3 years now. Yeah.
What? That's impossible. You're only 15 years old. That could be. That's impossible.
29 and holding.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Absolutely, absolutely. And what made you decide to go into business for yourself in the first place? What was that kick?
I think the cliche fits me very well, that I am certifiably unemployable. I mean, it's really difficult for a company to have me as an employee because I suggest too many things. I mean, corporate people, you kind of, or you're in your little zone, you're a team player, and everything kind of gets passed, anything new gets worked out by the team. You know, I just don't have time for that. I want to get things done, man. I want to, let's go. Let's just do it and try it. And if it doesn't work, who cares? Nobody gets fired because it doesn't work. You just learn from that and you move on. And that just doesn't work very well in corporate America. You are judged based on your perfectly sound decisions. So I don't know. I worked through college, and I got 3/4 of the way through college, and my mother asked me, well, what do you think you want to do when you graduate? And I said, well, I don't know yet. What I really want to do isn't here yet. And it turned out years later that it was the internet that I became interested in. But I said to my mother, I know 3 things I don't want to do. I don't want to be a traveling salesman like my dad. He was gone Monday and he'd come home Friday. It's just how things were back there. If you were in sales, you were traveling all the time. Yeah. I knew I didn't want to I didn't want to be an accountant. I knew that. CPA was not for me. Accounting 101 was one of the worst classes I ever had in college. It just about killed me. And I knew I'm just not that kind of numbers person. I'm more of a vision kind of person when it comes to numbers, but not the accounting side. So I knew I didn't want to do that. And I didn't want to have anything to do with computers.
Okay.
In high school, I was the guy that held up the rest of the class. We'd go around, we'd have this, like basic programming. I think that's what it was. And we'd go around and the teacher would tell us to do A, B, and C. We'd do A, B, and C, all at our individual computers. And he'd say, okay, now print. And everyone's would print, but mine. And so I'd wind up taking the whole class, and they were like, oh gosh, there's Marty again. So I just really got turned off from computers at the beginning. So still today, I don't consider myself to be a technical person. I can sell stuff, and that's what I bring to the table on the internet, but I'm not a designer. I'm not a programmer. I've made my business by finding people who are good at doing those kind of things and working together to accomplish something that actually sells. And that's one of the things that business has to be able to do. You have to be able to hold yourself out as having some kind of an offer and make it worthwhile to invite people to take advantage of it. That's what selling is, and you have to be able to do that.
Right, right. And now that we're in this, I mean, I don't know if we're midway or at least past the beginning of COVID-19, hopefully past the beginning and moving on to midway. What what does a business today need to really do to survive? And you were touching on it there, but can you get a little more pinpointed for our listeners today?
Yeah, I have a few ideas. We have so many clients now. I've been doing this for 20 years. We have clients that have $10 million companies. We have $10 million coaches, and we have real small companies that are just getting started. And I see a lot of trends happening with the companies that are really flying high versus the ones that are just getting by or even doing worse than that. And one of them I already mentioned, hanging around the right people. I mean, you are what you eat. You really need to do that. But the other thing that I'm seeing too is stability in the technical backbone. That's what I call it, the technical backbone. Just like when I got into this business in 1996, there are a lot of people getting out of the internet marketing world, the website world, the website hosting world. They're losing their clients. Some of them are sick and they disappear for 3 months. Some of them don't even make it. I mean, we do have a disease out there, right? There's an illness that people have. So there's a lot of that happening again, where I'm getting calls, usually 1 or 2 a week, maybe it's 2 weeks, but I went for a couple of years without getting a call from somebody saying, I'm desperate. I don't know what to do. My web guy is gone and I can't get into my website. I need to change a couple of things. I haven't changed anything in 2 years. I don't know what to do. I can't get a hold of my domain name. I know I need to renew it, but it's not registered in my name. I mean, this is stuff I used to hear 20 years ago, and it's still happening today. That's scary. So
Yeah.
you really need to take the opportunity now while you have your vendors, you have the people that supply you with your business, offline or online, and get very close to them. Find out all the passwords you need and make sure that there's a backup, and make sure that your vendors have a backup. What happens if they vanish? Do they have a backup, someplace for them to go to continue to help you? So those are just a couple of things that I'm seeing, that the people that are really, their business is accelerating. It's not, what you typically hear in an interview like this, but I'm just saying what I'm seeing in reality is that there is a lot of that going on right now, where the technical backbone is not being honored. I guess that's a good way. It's got to be put in the forefront. You have to align yourself with a web company that is going to be there. and
Right.
they have to have a backup as well in case something happens to them.
Right. And I remember when I first met you, and your company name is Here Next Year.
Yeah.
And because I said, well, that's a funny name, and you explained it. So can you explain why your company name is Here Next Year?
It's funny how things run in cycles, because when I first started with, I had a couple of websites of my own. That's really how I started on the internet. I was making money on the day that I was in my corporate sales job and in the office, because I forgot to mention that final line about how I got into starting my own business. Is I found myself when was it, 1995, I was traveling the country selling accounting software, the 3 things that I wanted to avoid in my life. It's exactly what I was doing. So I started a little pet project. The internet was just starting up, and I started a couple of websites. And on the day that I was invited to take on a promotion at work, I said, sorry, I resign because my websites are doing too well. So I need to pursue those and see where that goes. So I just kind of fell into the idea of being a full-time business owner. But the company name comes from people calling me saying, well, in a panic, they'd call me and they'd say, I don't know who to go to. I've lost control of my website. I'd like to hire you, but how do I know you'll be around in 6 months? It was the typical thing back then in the early days of the web. And so I finally came up with my company Here Next Year. And interesting sales. Eliminate the question, right? Well, I haven't had that question since, even 23 years later.
and here you are, and it's not even next year. I mean, you've been here year after year, and you have always been a great go-to person for me. And not only do we work together, we work together. So I really enjoy that. And you are here, and you are helpful and always informative. So we want to talk about, because a lot of things that, we talk about all the things you do, because you've written books, you help people write books, you help people with websites, you coach business, you do all this. But one of the things we wanted to talk about was mentoring business owners, mentoring other business owners. So
Sure.
let's talk about that just a little bit. What do you want to say? What's on your heart about that?
Well, it sure helps to have a mentor. I sure wish I had one in the early days. I mean, when I got started in all this, they didn't even have internet marketing conferences yet. I mean, I didn't go to one until the year 2000. I was already in business for almost 5 years. So it really would have been nice back then to have someone to, I mean, I don't even want to call the person a coach, because coaching, I'm a youth softball coach. So I know a lot about coaching, and we won the state championship last year. It was awesome and everything. And with a bunch of girls that, I mean, normally you wouldn't think they'd go to a state championship. We won. It was awesome, kind of little bad news bears kind of thing there, but
Yeah.
but it worked really well. And I always think of that as, am I coaching or am I mentoring? And that's a big misconception that people have, that when you hire a coach, that you're going to be with that coach for the next 15 years. No, that's a mentor, someone that sees you grow over time. A coach you hire for 30 days to teach you how to do something very specific, or for maybe a 3-month period. And then you set something maybe that's longer in time, because there are coaches that stick with their players for a few years, but it's a very specific type of relationship with that. Mentoring is a lot different. The mentoring has really grown as an industry too. It used to be that when you think of a mentor, the only person that you would look for a mentor is someone that was willing to do it for free. Well, today it's a whole industry. You can certainly pay mentors over time to be with you in your whole progression in your business throughout. And they might not be able to coach you on everything, but they will be the ones that can steer you to the coaches that you need for specialty topics and training. So that's the difference. That's the trend I'm seeing, is just about, I'm going to say everybody that I'm thinking of, my clients, people I work with, including myself. I mean, today, sure, I have 4 mentors that I work with still today. And
Right.
and I'm thinking every one of my clients, that are the ones that are flying high, the ones that are doing really well, they all have mentors today, all of them. Some of them are in the form of mastermind groups, so they might have a few mentors that they've been involved with for a few years now. But that's how they look at them. Even mastermind group members, they'll talk to them on the side, and they're getting mentoring for sure. So I think that's a missing component. A lot of people are trying to do this on their own, and that's a scary thought. They feel alone. I mean, COVID came along, and I think all of us went through that period where we just felt we were isolated. We really were alone with our
Right.
families, at least maybe, but that's all we really had, was being alone in our little rooms. Well, mentoring allows you to get out of that, and it allows you to align with somebody so that you can talk about things that you probably wouldn't even talk to your spouse about. Certainly not your kids, certainly not the people that are in your immediate household, because they don't understand what you're trying to do with this business. You've got to be able to talk to people like that are like-minded, that are progressing like you want to be, that are enthusiastic, that are having fun, that are not down in the dumps every day and the gloom and doom and all that. And those people are hard to find. They really are hard for me to find, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's the quest that I would challenge everybody to be after, is find out, start seeking a mentor now, somebody that's related to your industry and somebody that you can align with for years to come, someone that really takes a genuine interest.
Right. And I think there's, for me, I think there's three people that business owners and entrepreneurs need to have. One is a mentor, absolutely. I think we all need a coach or multiple coaches for different aspects of our businesses. And the other one just left my brain. Wait.
I can add one while you're thinking about it.
Go for it. Oh
I
my
think
gosh.
everybody needs a support group. I think you
Yeah.
need a place to go where people are, they might not be all mentors of yours, but they're certainly, they want to be in a good mood.
Right.
So they congregate. I mean, Zoom is a great place for that, or whatever virtual live setting you're in. Attending virtual live events is a great way to do that, because people that are brought in as hosts are typically upbeat, they're energetic, they're forward thinking, they're positive, they're smiling. I mean, those are the kind of people you want to be around, and that's where you find your mentors as well. And that
Right.
could be an organized virtual live event, a conference, they're all over the place, but it could just be a Toastmasters club. It could be your family. I mean, you could get just family members that you know of around the world or locally, whatever, and say, hey, every Monday we should get together, the 6 of us, and just get on Zoom and talk about what's happening, and kind of maybe leave out some of the people that are really negative and gloom and doom and all that. And just have that once a week where you get supercharged by other people
Right.
and support them too. So it's a two-way streak. You know, you have to show up in a good mood, put your happy
Right.
face on.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's important. I think people forget that they can do things like Zoom or conference calls or those kinds of things that will keep connections together, since we're physically distancing. Because I don't believe in social distancing. I think that's the wrong word. I
Terrible
think we
word.
need to physical distance, but still be sociable. And as you were speaking, I thought, ta-da, of what I was going to say. So we need mentors, we need coaches, we need to connect with people who are like-minded and positive. Thank you, Marty. And then we also, I think, get an accountability partner, someone that you can say, you know, over the next month, I'm going to 1, 2, 3. And then in a month, that person's going to say, so did you do 1, 2, and 3? And you're not going to be fired. They're not going to hate you if you go, you know what, I got to 1 and I'm working on 3. 2 fell away. Okay, what can we do? And then get back on the horse, and you are accounting for them and they are accounting for you. So I just think that's a great way of working together. And it seems like, oh gosh, I need all these people, all these things. All it does is enhance your business and your life, and make you a better business owner, a better friend, because you're not dumping all your business woes on your buddies. Instead, that you have people that you can actually talk to instead. Yeah.
You know, actually, I mean, see, this is how these things go. When you have a real scripted virtual live event, you just follow the script. You don't really get to the real good stuff. And this is where we're about to get to the real good stuff, because we're just having a conversation back and forth. And I have 2 more suggestions to add on to that list. We're going to have to go back and write down a list. This is a good list.
I know this. So this is being recorded and will be posted. So
awesome. So
go
2
back and
things
listen.
came to mind as you were going through that accountability idea. Number 1 is a piggyback of hanging around the right people. Is I would like to encourage everyone watching this to stop jousting on Facebook. Politics and religion have no correlation, unless they are really correlated with your business. Every time you go back and forth with somebody, no matter what side you're on, you are alienating half of your potential customers, because they are looking at your profile before they hire you. Absolutely, for sure. And the other thing that came to mind is that all of this leads up to probably the most important part of having a business that you want to grow and build over time, is that you need to have a process that you're following. You have to find someone in your market or in your interest or in your industry that is doing what you want to do, and look at the history of what they've done and the sequence in how they implement it. I'm not saying you need to follow exactly what they did step by step. Everybody's business is different. But what you need to look at is their system. What is the system they used to go through the process of getting started, building, gaining their presence, expanding, exploding, and managing it all? and I think that's really left out today, because you see all the Facebook ads for attend my webinar and I'll show you how you don't have to do any work, and in 30 days you're going to make $10 million. I mean, come on, be realistic, but there is a process. There is absolutely a process, a beginning and an end, and it's, in the end is, it's like hitting a home run. You know, once you've hit the home run, you're trotting around the bases and you're looking to get up to bat again. I mean, that's how it works. So it's a real exciting thing once you find a step-by-step sequence that you can find out where your company is in that sequence and just plug in. That's where things get exciting.
Right. I like it. I like it a lot. Absolutely. And I think that as we go through our business experience, I think that's something that we really want to be enjoying is the people that we're with, the people that we're doing things with. I think that's the most important thing, is to just enjoy the ride. You know, don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to talk about it. And I think that's the thing we really need to do. So Marty, we have overshot our time, which was not my intent. So Marty, this is your latest book. I'm just throwing it up there so people might want to take a look at it. And I'm going to have you back, Marty. I'm sorry. We're just going to have to have you back. That's the way it is. Because we've had too much fun and too much to talk about. So I don't want to keep our listeners and our viewers longer than promised. But here is Marty's name and his contact information. If you want to ask Marty questions, his company is herenextyear.com. So you can locate him there, contact him there. Here's my information. So if you have questions, comments, be sure and give me some input, and we'll be having another guest next week, and I'll be posting that so everybody's not confused and what the heck is going on. But we're going to be doing this weekly, and we're going to have some great guests coming on. So Marty, I just want to thank you so much, and I'll give you 30 seconds. One closing thought.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thanks for that opportunity. I would suggest that I think it's really important to find out what the business owners are doing now that are, I've said it already, flying high, and that's on the tip of my tongue, because just last week I wrote an extensive, probably one of the longest blog posts I've written in a couple of years on that herenextyear.com website. So go to the blog area and you'll read through several other things that people are doing, business owners that are flying high, and how they've changed just in the past couple of months to have some of the best months of their whole business career.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so herenextyear.com, go and check it out. I'm Coach Dana Inspires.com. Go check it out. Have any questions, let me know. Have a great day. And everybody, be kind and be inspired. Take care, everyone.